Hi guys, it's Dominic Couch. Just got top 64 at the NAWCQ. I played KASHTIRA. I went 11-1 in Swiss. I lost the last round to Jose Santiago. And I lost to the Mirror in top 64 to Gerardo Varela. Congratulations to him for qualifying for the World Championship. I'll do shoutouts at the end of the deck profile, so let's get right into it. I played 3 KASHTIRA Fenrir. This card is so outrageous that now the best card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now is Book of Moon. So, obviously, and then 2 Unicorn. Play more if I could. 3 Rise Heart. So, like, with this card, you, like, lost a Unicorn, so you just want to be able to, like, play through Book of Moon as often as possible, as well as play the game. And this is the card that, like, helps you do that the most, because you can't, like, add another card into your deck to, like, help you do so. So this card ends up being, like, the next best monster you can play. And when so many things exist and, like, you have to play a card like Nibiru the Primal Being as well, because it's so good in the format, having a card like this that you can normal summon and, like, try to play the game helps a lot, especially with the runic decks, like, all playing Mannequin Cat as well. This card, like, helps you start to be able to play, so playing 3 of it was very good. I never drew it in multiples, so that was good for me, obviously, but I would definitely, like, play 3 moving forward. This card, I think I would not play again in the future. I just kind of trusted on this card because I hadn't really been playing the deck a lot before the NAWCQ. I got convinced to play it Thursday night because I was originally going to play Runic. And so I guess the first shout out is definitely to Jeff Jones, because Jeff Jones tested with me a lot Thursday night in my hotel room. And he was, like, just bodying me while I was playing the Runic deck, and I just, like, couldn't beat an Arise Heart. And like, when my deck could not beat a Rise Heart going second, I realized it was, like, not a viable deck to play in the tournament. And Jeff really liked Ogre and Preparations. These cards were, like, very okay for me, but also my deck was built very differently than Jeff's. So, like, he played a lot more hand traps, and I think that these cards are a lot better in the version of the deck that plays a lot more hand traps, because you're a lot more likely to prevent your opponent from, like, playing or going super wide, or you, like, end up making the game, like, much grindier. And, like, when the game, like, grinds, like, this card shines. My games normally don't grind because the only hand trap I played was an Imperm. So these cards ended up, like, not being great for me, but that doesn't mean that these are not good cards. I think if you play a lot of hand traps, you should play these cards. If you play my deck, you should not play these cards. And then I played the 1 Scareclaw, KASHTIRA. Those are all the monsters I played. Then for the spells, I played 3 Planet, Terraforming, 3 Theosis, 3 Birth, 3 Prosperity, and 1 Desires. So the funny story about Pod Desires is when I was testing with Jeff and Jordan Zembrowski Thursday night, I kept drawing KASHTIRA Big Bang. And when I was playing, like, after they got me to switch decks. So, and when I was playing, I, like, drew Big Bang, and, like, in my turn 1, I wasn't really using it, because I didn't think you really needed to. Like, I felt like a Rise Heart pass with, like, set cards was, like, powerful enough. Every time I drew it, I was like, man, I hate this card. So I, like, drew it against Jordan. I was like, you know what? It's out of my deck. And I activate Big Bang, banish the top 10 cards of my deck, and draw 2 cards in testing. And, like, Mike Albanese and Ryan Levine and Jordan were all making fun of me all weekend for doing that. But it was I don't regret this decision at all. I actually think that I would have played a second Pod Desires where this Ogre spot was, and then not sure what I would have made KASHTIRA Preparations. It just would have been a different 40th card, but I should have played 5 pots. Then these were definitely the MVPs of my deck. I played 3 Book of Moon and 3 Book of Eclipse. So the problem with this card before was you didn't know if the KASHTIRA deck was going to 5-zone lock you or not. So it became like a non-solution to the board whenever they 5-zone locked you because they could diversify what they did. They cannot do that anymore. Like, locking 5 zones doesn't exist when they go first, at least. Like, it might happen during your turn, but it does not happen like on their turn 0. So this card solves their board every single time. Against the Runic deck, you turn off cards like Dampa, and against like Pearly, you can chain it. You can chain it to their rank up spell, and then as a trap card against Pearly, this card's actually better than Book because Pearly Stray Street like forces Book. It doesn't force this card. So like you can use this to hit multiple cards, and if they draw a bunch of cards, like that sucks for you. But like like I said, this deck doesn't grind. So like my opponent will draw 2 to 3 cards, and then like I'm gonna kill them because they didn't deal with my board. Also like biggest MVP moment for Book of Eclipse was when I played against Sean Rye. When I played against Sean Rye, it was the mirror match, and he like went to try to kill me. I went first, and he like makes Shang like reveals Rise Heart to special it, and I chained Book of Eclipse, and I went really wide with my board. I had like Unicorn, Fenrir, Scareclaw, Rise Heart, and he enemy controlled the Scareclaw, and so I chained Eclipse to him revealing this Rise Heart. Then he like brings his guy off birth, normals the guy, and then I Nibiru'd him, and I win because I keep all the monsters that I Book of Eclipsed, and he only gets to keep his Shang. So like that was a cool interaction with Book of Eclipse and Nibiru. Then I played 3 Lance and 3 Cosmic, and the last cards in my deck were 3 Impermanence. It's the only hand trap you can draw for turn, and it's the only one that can't get Mannequin Catted or Talanced. So pretty much like all the non-engine in my deck were cards I could draw for turn, or draw off Desires, or see off Prosperity, and that was like the like biggest strength to my deck, I think, and it's like what made Swiss like so easy. It's 40 cards. And then for the extra deck, 1 Rise Heart, 2 Shang. Should have played a 3rd Shang. I would have cut probably this card. This card was like not very good for me at all. I didn't summon it once. I think I summoned it 1 time, and my opponent quite literally had 1 monster on the board, and I still had 5 cards in my hand. So like this card was certainly not what like helped win that game at all. I would have played a 3rd Shang because in the hands you draw all monsters, you actually make 3 Shangs because you have like Shang, and then you make another Shang to make a Rise Heart with 3 materials. So like for that specific hand, I probably would have just played the 3rd Shang because all the cards in your extra deck don't come up enough anyway. So you just want to like have the option. And 2 Zeus, 2 Dark Armed. This was by far like the best card in my extra deck outside of the Cash Monsters and Zeus. This card is so broken. It's 2+ level 7s, which I actually didn't know until Friday night. And so you can like summon this with 3 materials to make your 4 material Zeus without wasting your Rise Heart, which I thought was like very, very neat. Like it was a niche role that only this card could fill. I played Dracosac. This was for Gozen Match and Skill Drain. Never came up once. Big Eye. You don't need 2 of this card in the mirror because like if you can summon this, if like you're in a spot where like summoning this card wins you the game, you are already gonna win anyway. And like summoning Dark Arm probably also wins you the game. So it's like very rare scenarios where Big Eye wins you the game. The scenarios it does win you the game is like you Book of Eclipse them, it resolves, and like they don't have a lot of set cards, so instead of juicing them, you like take their Rise Heart. Which in that case they never would have got to banish a card out of your extra deck with Unicorn anyway, so there's not a reason to play more than 1. This card was for like when you play against Sprite or something to like turn 2 level 7s into Zeus, and then you could also hard summon this. And then the mythical play is you like hard summon this, like bring this card back by tributing this, and then a rise starts on the field, and then like this gets attached without drawing prosperity. That literally never happened once. Yeah, and then the prosperity targets were Goliath, Garura, Natis, and Skullwagon. I think I never played against Labyrinth, which was this card was for. So like I really wish I played Skull Knight. But I like won those matches anyway. That like Skull Knight would have been good. So it's like hard to say. Like I think like preparing for your matchups that can go a lot more south ends up being better, which is like why I played these. Because Dark Ruler was also very popular. So if I didn't draw Lance and I like drew Prosperity, this would be the first one I attached to my Rise start. So if it got negated, I could still pop a card like by detaching Frost. Then I played Donner for like me having Nibiru or like Ibli or whatever. Then for the side deck, played 2 Nibiru. It was for the siding pattern. Just like any matchup I sided Nib, I didn't have room to side the third for. It like normally perfectly swapped with Ogre and Prep. Even going first in the mirror, I sided this in for Ogre and Prep. Then 3 Ash, 3 Dimension Shifter, and 3 Bell. These cards are for Labyrinth, and like Ash has applications in other matchups like the mirror. Being able to side it in post side, which is when cards like you don't know whether you're gonna go first or second in the mirror. So having cards that are generic after you win game 1 are very good for that. Also, if you see like talents and stuff like that in your opponent's deck, then it could be likely that they play Thrust as well, and then this is a card that like can just negate Thrust. And like so, anytime you draw that in the mirror and you like go first, I just hold it for that every time. And Dimension Shifter is just this card's broken. You don't need to talk about it. And Bell is for Fur Hire and the Labyrinth deck. And then I played a for Fun Duster because it helped with my siding pattern versus Labyrinth, and if I told the mirror to start. And then 3 Anti-Spell Fragrance. This card was outrageous. Like this card and Eradicator both need to like go. No spells even for 1 turn is just ridiculous because your opponent like sets all their spells, and then you like even if your hand is weak, you just Zeus them. Like this is just so ridiculous. So ridiculous. But for shoutouts, let's start with my team, Top Choice Gaming. They are awesome. They do a lot for me. I really appreciate them. Then for the deck box, got Gemtech now. Sponsored by Gemtech Accessories at the moment. Their products are quality and I enjoy them. And then for people, like I said, Jeff gets a huge shout out for being the one that actually convinced me to play KASHTIRA. I would have entered with the Runic deck if it was not for him clapping me up. So thank you a lot. And then like the people who stayed with me, Ryan Levine, Mike Albanese. The weekend was just so fun spending it with them and my other friends. It was an event to remember, and I had a lot of fun even though I did not qualify for Worlds. So thank you to them as well as some of the Houston guys as well. I rode with them to the airport and they helped me test as well. So I appreciate them as well. Like AJ, Laura, Julian, Hector, and Silos. And then also huge shout out goes to both Alex Cancel and Steven Silverman. Silverman lent me so many cards for this tournament because I did not bring my KASHTIRA deck to the tournament because I did not think I was going to play it. So I would not have been able to have all the cards to play my deck without Silverman, and then Cancel for being the one that played the deck with me and theoried it. See you guys next time. Peace out.